Hey Daryl, reply to my messages now. Right now, where are you? You best stay home right now for me. I need you right now.
Hi, Essayer. What has changed so suddenly? Has something awful occurred?
I want to know where you are now. Please respond to my query. I need a ride to Federica's place from you. Right now, I want to start walking over to her place.
I'm sorry, but due to my hectic schedule, I won't be able to accomplish that. Right now, I've left the grocery shop. After I finish my grocery shopping, I have a lot more items to buy before I can go pick up David. I anticipate arriving at home in about an hour.
Are you for real? This is just unbelievable. That indicates that I won't arrive in time for lunch. I was asked to lunch today by Federica. I wouldn't want to pass up this chance.
You ought to have informed me about this sooner. I believed I had packed you lunch before I left the house. I also let you know that I was going food shopping. You ought to have known that I was unable to pick you up at this time.
Yes, I was aware that you were out shopping. Instead, I asked you to pick me up from home. I was dying to have lunch at Federica's place. I don't want you to make me lunch. Why should I have to eat this when you can eat it by myself when you come home?
Well, when I left the home, I had already finished my piece. Making your lunch gave me the impression that I was doing you a favor.
You truly have no comprehension, do you? I don't want to keep Federica waiting for an hour for me to show up. Would you stop what you're doing right now and come pick me up?
Sorry, but I'm unable to accomplish that. I believed I had previously informed you that I was occupied at the moment. Additionally, I need to buy certain things for Farley.
Who is interested in him? That can be done later.
Your spouse, he is. I believe you ought to treat him with greater respect.
That doesn't concern me right now. Right now, I need to get going. I had to get to Federica's residence right away. Please get home quickly. How many times do I need to repeat this to you?
It would still take me more than 30 minutes even if I went home immediately. Federica's home is another 30 minutes away from our location. That implies that it will take you at least an hour to get there. Can I do that? Perhaps you could just ask her to extend the invitation at a later date.
I find it hard to accept that something like this could be happening to me. Why do I keep getting such bad luck? Why didn't you just spend the day at home? You never know what I actually need from you here for, do you? Really, you are so worthless.
I apologize, but there is little I can do to change the situation. There wasn't much food in the fridge anymore. If I hadn't gone to the stores today, there wouldn't have been anything for us to eat for tonight. If I had left the fridge empty, you probably would have grumbled about it. I was forced to make today's appearance.
Stop inventing such ridiculous justifications. You own a vehicle. You might have just gone before supper later in the afternoon. Are you serious when you say I'll have to decline Federica's invitation?
I never said anything like. You may simply take the train if you truly want to go. Compared to me driving all the way home, that would take significantly less time. It would also greatly simplify my life.
Why should I be interested in you? I'm not going to take the train. Oh, how I detest using the subway. Even my chances of securing a seat on the train are uncertain. I also dislike having to travel by foot to the train station. That far away. Oh my goodness, are you really trying to make an old lady like me go all the way to the station? Just incredibly incredible how you were.
Why are you acting so hysterically when it just takes 10 minutes to go to the station? That's a simple stroll for you, no?
You know I'm not interested in doing that, right?
Good luck with it. Unfortunately, I am unable to take you up at this time. Either take the train today, or just inform Federica that you are unable to attend today's event.
You really are such a loser. My interest has waned. Simply said, I'm going to request Federica's invitation to come over another time. You makes me feel so bad. I can only imagine how thrilled she was to have me over. You'd best also offer her an apology.
Why do I have to express my regret to her?
Isn't it quite obvious? I can't go to her house today, and it's all your fault. Everything you did was selfish, therefore that's why. Do not comprehend how busy she is? Her ability to extend an invitation to me is really uncommon. On the other hand, you constantly appear to have a ton of spare time. Why is it that today of all days you have to be so busy?
What were you saying? Do you honestly believe I have that much spare time every day? You had to be kidding me. Were you speaking directly to me?
I mean, who else did you think I was talking to?
I seldom have any spare time. I do all of the chores for you. Early in the morning, I prepare breakfast for the entire family. Then I leave David off at school and drive Farley to the hospital for rehabilitation. I return home to clean the house and do laundry. And I prepare you lunch and do all the dishes. I have to go food shopping in the afternoon and then pick everyone up again. When I get home, I have to start making supper for everyone. Every day, I do it all by myself. Are you serious when you say I have so much free time?
Stop playing the victim. That is a typical housewife's lifestyle. You don't even work or make any money. You should feel grateful for earning all of your money. You have no right to be dissatisfied with your task.
Actually, I earned part of the money from my family as well. I work part-time and in my spare time. I contribute to the family's income.
It's only a part-time job. I doubt it makes a difference. I'm also letting you dwell in this place since I'm incredibly nice. Your very small salary does not cover all of your living expenditures. Stop acting so arrogantly simply because you do a little chores. You have no right to respond to me.
What are you on about? I'm only here because you requested Dylan and me to live with you. I never pointed out anything about not wanting to live here. I was irritated when you told me I was worthless and that I had so much spare time. You should know that I have sentiments as well. I didn't like it when you told me that.
I did nothing except tell you the truth. Stop complaining so much. You're only a housewife. You're nothing without Dylan. When he gets home, I'm going to tell him how badly you treated me today.
Go ahead and do it. I don't mind if you tell him. Even if you tell him everything, I doubt anything will change since he would be disappointed in you.
He will not be let down by me. If anything, he'll be disappointed in you. He'll undoubtedly be on my side. You'd best brace yourself for a reprimand from him.
If you truly feel it, go ahead and tell him. I am certain that I am not mistaken in any of this.
You are truly arrogant. I'm not sure why Dylan chose to marry someone like you. I hope you don't have too much influence over David. I don't want him to mature into an adult like you. I'm already concerned about the future.
There is no need for you to be concerned about David's future. He's turning into a beautiful youngster who is always concerned about me. I'm confident that he has a bright future ahead of him. You have absolutely nothing to be concerned about.
Just conversing with you irritates me. You must have a flair for annoying folks.
So, I apologize if I was able to irritate you in any way. I'm going to go immediately. I still need to go grocery shopping before I go pick up David. Goodbye.
There is an emergency. This was not something I anticipated to happen.
What are you on about? Is everything all right?
Everything is fine. I'm overjoyed right now. Federica has apparently become pregnant.
Oh, you took me by surprise. I assumed something terrible had occurred. Anyway, that's fantastic news. I'm overjoyed for her.
This is the most exciting news I've heard in a long time. I'm excited to meet her child. I'm already getting excited about it. I'll have even more grandchildren now.
I'm delighted you seem pleased with it. She only found out about it a few days ago.
I believe I was one of the first to learn about it from her. Oh, she still hasn't told her in-laws. This must imply that she likes me, right? I was the first person she called.
I suppose I might imply that, after all, you are her mother.
Why don't you attempt to be more upbeat about it? This is fantastic news. You don't appear to be interested in what I'm going to tell you. Do you have no regard for other people?
That is not the case. I am overjoyed for her.
I'm not sure what to do with all this energy. I'm overjoyed after hearing this news. I'm curious whether it will be a boy or a girl. Actually, gender has no bearing. He or she will be adorable anyway. Federica is, after all, their mother. She's going to make them some amazing genes. She's a picture-perfect lady. I can't wait to start shopping for the baby.
Federica is, indeed, a gorgeous lady. I believe it's a little early to start thinking about baby presents.
By the way, I'm not suggesting David isn't attractive. He is still my cherished grandchild. It's simply that I'm more eager to see Federica's children. They will be the best grandchildren in the world.
Isn't that a little insulting to David?
I don't believe it's really insulting. It's just that he's a little strange in certain aspects. You get what I'm saying, don't you?
No. I don't. What exactly are you trying to say?
For some reason, he doesn't seem to like me very much. These days, we scarcely have any talks. He's constantly locked inside Farley's room and never comes out. I'm not sure why he appears to despise me.
He's constantly in Farley's room for a purpose. He's making sure Farley doesn't get lonely being alone in his room all day. I don't believe he dislikes you. You don't have to be concerned about it at all.
I'm relieved that they appear to get along fairly well. I'm still irritated that he doesn't get along with me. I think he'd be a lot cuter if he was friendlier to me. He no longer even makes eye contact with me. I'm his grandmother.
He's undoubtedly terrified of you since you always speak to him in a frightening tone. You yell at him whenever he does something you believe is wrong. You must exercise greater patience with him. He's only a youngster. He's not going to be flawless. You yelled at him the other day for just watching TV throughout supper. You always tell him that you're busy whenever he wants to chat to you. I believe David will be more cordial with you if you adjust how you treat him. I'm sure if you're good to him, he'll be more likely to be nice to you.
That is not entirely my fault. When I'm busy, he constantly chats to me. He's simply generally inconvenient. Just like another person I know.
Is it possible that you're referring to me?
I never said anything like that. Stop pretending to be a victim. I never explicitly stated that I was referring to you. It might have been anyone I was referring to.
There is no one else to whom you may be referring.
So, if you believe I was talking about you, maybe I was. But you can't blame me for it. I never said anything about it being you.
I don't really care either way. I'm tired of talking to you. Could you please treat David a bit more respectfully if at all possible? I genuinely want you two to get along. He's just 5 years old. You've reached adulthood.
I told you I'd already treated him kindly. You are tenacious in your pursuit of this. How many times do you intend to repeat what I intend to repeat?
I intend to keep doing it until I see a shift in your attitude. Anyway, I have to go going since I'm quite busy. I need to get started on supper preparations right now. You said you were going to be late today, didn't you? Are you going to be hungry when you go home?
Yes, I'll be arriving home late tonight. I won't require dinner.
Are you certain about that? What are you going to do?
I'm going out to eat with Dylan tonight. We'll be eating at a great restaurant, so we won't require your meal. I also had to inform him about Federica's pregnancy. I don't think he's aware of it yet.
Okay, I get it. I'll simply cook enough food for myself, Farley, and David, and you and David can have a great supper together.
Yes, please do so. Make certain that all of the chores is completed before I arrive home tonight. Daryl, I have some news for you. Federica will be moving in with us starting today.
What exactly did you just say? Starting today? Isn't that a touch abrupt?
She's coming to live with us as her pregnancy progresses to the end. She'll need all of our help to have a healthy kid.
Isn't it too early for that? Isn't she only around 3 months pregnant?
What are you on about? If anything, it's a touch late. Federica's husband is quite busy and seldom returns home. I'm not going to let her stay at home alone while she's pregnant. She requires someone to be with her at all times.
I see what you're saying, however.
Federica really resigned her job not long ago. During the day, she has a lot of spare time. I'll need you to make an extra piece of food starting today. Make sure you make something nutritious and appropriate for a pregnant woman.
Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, and one more thing. I need you to clean out the room you're now in. Federica will be moving into the room as of today. Make careful to relocate all of your possessions to a new room. Make sure you don't forget anything.
Wait. What are you talking about? You want us to make room for her?
That is precisely what I am advising you to do. You're utilizing one of the larger rooms. Federica should get to utilize it, in my opinion. She'll have a lot of items that she'll carry with her. It makes sense for you to relocate to a smaller space. You're cool with it, right?
I believe we should debate this before making any judgments. Because Farley's room is practically next door, I believe I should remain in this room. When he needs assistance, I can go immediately away. Can't Federica utilize one of the available rooms? It would make things a lot easier for both me and David.
Stop attempting to create such justifications. The choice was made previously. You may still aid Farley from one of the upper rooms if he needs it. All you need to do is down a flight of steps. Is it really so difficult? Federica has taken over your room. There is nothing to debate here. I'm not going to have a pregnant woman climb a flight of stairs every day. She requires the first floor room that you are now occupying. When you go home, make sure you take all of your possessions out of the room. Do you comprehend what I'm asking of you?
Okay, I get it. I'll get to it as soon as I get home.
Daryl! What are you up to? I still can't believe this is happening. Federica had no fruit left in the fridge. She requires all vitamins in order to give birth to a healthy kid. How could you have forgotten to fetch these for her? You are indeed a worthless lady.
I apologize for not having the time to do so. I'm now on my way home after picking up David from school.
David? This is definitely starting to irritate me. You appear to be just concerned with him.
Why are you becoming so enraged all of a sudden?
Do you understand we have a pregnant woman living with us right now? She is the most important person in the house and deserves more of your attention. I can't believe you continue to choose your own child over her. How do you intend to accept responsibility if something bad happens to her?
Why should I accept responsibility? Is there anything I've done wrong? I've been treating everyone who lives with us fairly.
So you genuinely have no idea what you've done wrong? Are you truly so stupid? Why don't you try utilizing your head for a change?
Nothing has gone wrong with me. I'm not going to abandon David simply because Federica is pregnant. It's natural for me to want to look after my own child. You must have the same thoughts as I do. You constantly appear to be concerned with your own children.
Stop talking to me like that. Federica is the individual that needs to be emphasized the most right now. Everyone else should be an afterthought for you.
You see, you're doing precisely what I told you. You place the highest value on your own daughter. I'm doing the same thing by putting my own child first.
Why don't you grasp what I'm saying? Federica is now carrying my darling grandchild. Federica needs the highest level of care for the baby to be born safely. I've got enough of your horrible attitude. How could you respond to me in this manner? If you can't follow my commands, please leave my house immediately.
Are you certain you should be saying that to me? Do you truly want me to go?
I am very certain. I don't want you in my home any longer. Get out right now. You're just an annoyance. I no longer require someone like you in my home. Get out before I become enraged.
That's just great with me. I'll go as soon as I gather all of my possessions.
Daryl, why don't you wake up early to prepare food for everyone? Don't you know it's the responsibility of a wife to Dylan?
I'm sorry, what are you saying? I won't do anything anymore.
I'm talking about family responsibility, Daryl. This is the duty of a wife, and you have failed.
What are you scolding me for? I won't do anything anymore. I don't have any responsibilities towards your family either, so take care of it yourself because I divorced Dylan yesterday.
Divorced? Why? Why didn't you say anything to me? What? Why would you dare to divorce your husband?
Why are you so surprised? This is what you asked for. I didn't want to talk to anyone. Our relationship is over, and I don't need to be responsible for his family anymore.
I never asked you to divorce Dylan, although I'm very angry that you didn't follow my request.
I don't have any opinions about that. But it's definite I filed for divorce and there's no going back. Your family will live without my help. Believe it or not, Dylan agreed to this. He signed the papers, LOL.
Don't try to deceive me.
I have nothing to deceive you about. Dylan knows everything but pretends not to. To torment me, this family turned me into a servant.
What will happen to my husband, Farley, when he has no one to take care of him?
You're kidding me, right? That's your family's problem, not mine. You're his wife, you should take care of him, not me.
I have many reasons why I can't take care of him. I don't have a driver's license. How can I take him to the hospital? I'm busy every day taking care of Federica.
Well, then contact Federica's husband to bring her home instead of talking to me.
How can you treat us like this? Just come back, and everything will be as before. Stop this divorce thing now and come home to take care of us like before. I'll pretend nothing happened.
That will never happen. Once you kicked me out, there's no way I'm coming back.
So you're willing to abandon us, huh? You won't be welcomed in this family anymore.
Well, hell will welcome you soon enough. Believe it or not, Dylan himself proposed the divorce because he couldn't stand a devilish woman like you.
That will never happen. I'm just too busy, that's all.
Yes, you're busy choosing which program to watch on TV all day and never leaving until mealtime.
I don't have any savings. I'm living off your and Dylan's money. If you get divorced, what will my husband and I do?
Exactly, he decided to give everything to me. Surprising, isn't it? You'll be left with nothing.
Is everything you're saying true? You truly are a demon.
So, Esther, you'll be taking care of all the tasks after I leave. Dylan has agreed to let me bring David to our new place without involving you.
Wait a minute, please. I beg you, come back here with me.
I don't care anymore. You always call me useless, so I won't come back. Goodbye and farewell.
Hey, Daryl.
Before I left the house, I had thoroughly discussed everything with Farley. I assured him that I would get him a place in an aged care facility. I believe I have located a suitable residence for him, and I am now finalizing all the formalities so that he may leave the house shortly. I want to use the money he provided me to pay for the care facility. I also make use of some of the funds that were handed to me. I also utilize part of the money that was provided to me to purchase a new home for myself and David. Farley's gift of money was really generous, and I believe I'll be able to purchase a pretty good house while still having enough money left over. Dylan sent me a number of apology texts over the next 2 months. I can't forgive him for what occurred, but I have no intention of ever seeing him again. Should I return to him with him?
Alice, we need to talk.
What can I help you, Mom?
Your father and I are going to be moving tomorrow.
Hold on. Where did this come from? This isn't something you just drop on someone out of nowhere.
That's why I'm telling you now we are moving tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, you are going to be living alone.
Mom, I don't think I quite understand everything that's going on here. Where are you moving to?
We're moving to Maya's house. Starting tomorrow, we're going to be living with her.
What? You're abandoning me out of nowhere and decide to move in with my big sister. But is Maya's house actually an apartment, isn't it? And she is paying rent for it monthly, right? How are you planning on living there? Your moving there just causes trouble with her lease.
You really are stupid.
Excuse me.
Of course, we aren't planning to live in her apartment. There's no way we'd do something like that.
Then where do you all intend to live? I still find this all incredibly hard to believe, Mom.
We're going to be living in a new house. I'm talking about a new house that Maya's family built a new house.
Maya and her family built a house?
Yes, that's right. The house is a duplex. And they built it for your father and me.
I see, Mom. That's good to hear, but why am I only hearing about this now? I haven't heard a thing from Maya about having built a new house nor about any moving plan.
What? Why do you think we had to talk to you about it? It's not like we need your permission to do anything. Well, it would have actually been a problem if we had talked to you about it earlier.
What do you mean by that?
If I had talked to you before, you would have just done everything you could to tag along with us. You would have tried to shamelessly guilt-trip us into bringing you along. That's what Maya was worrying about.
What are you talking about? Why on earth would I want to go along with you? What makes you think I would be?
Come on, Alice. Look at you. You're already 28 and you're still single and living with your parents. Meanwhile, Maya's husband is a very successful business manager and a super rich. It's not strange at all to think that you'd want to take advantage of their money.
I have no idea how you could have come to such a ridiculous conclusion. You know how much I've hated Maya? She's always bullying me and rubbing her every little success in my face. Do you think I would just forget about all of that and want to move into her house? That would be the furthest thing from my mind. I'm nowhere near that desperate.
Don't be rude, Alice. It was just a reasonable guess, like I said earlier. This is what Maya was worried about. She was thinking that maybe you'd try to barge in on her life and ruin her family's happy life in her new home. If things ended up like that, it would mean serious trouble for me too.
Mom, that response certainly doesn't surprise me in the slightest. This is how you've always been, always thinking of Maya over me. What makes you think I would ever want to come along and continue living with uncaring parents like you? Not only that. You told me some time ago that living alone and single would have looked poorly on me to begin with. You are the one who was whining so much about the idea of me living alone that I just decided to stay with you so you would shut up about it. Don't go acting like I ever intended to live in this house ever since I became an adult. It's all because of your whining that I'm still here.
Stop trying to act tough around me, Alice. It's not going to work. Don't try to lie and say it was anything else other than you wanting to just live off us like a worthless parasite.
Oh sure. That's just the kind of thing I'd expect to hear from someone like you, someone who left me to do every last bit of housework like I was your maid. People like you often try to say something like that to your kids when they start speaking up against you. Well, whatever. Since you're moving out tomorrow, I'll finally get to say goodbye to all of your bull once and for all. Frankly, I'm relieved to hear that that's what you've decided to do. I suppose I'll just look forward to finally living how I want to.
Oh, and one last thing I need to tell you. You had better continue living in that house, got it?
Excuse me? I'd prefer to move as soon as I possibly can. I would be happy to not live one more second in this house. There's no reason for me to have to follow any such demand.
Don't think I'll let you get away with doing that. You do realize that that house is our family home, right? I would never forgive you if you just selfishly abandoned our family's property.
Are you crazy? Are you even listening to what you're saying? If you care so much about this house, the two of you should be the ones to take care of it. Not me.
What? There's no way we would be able to do something like that. Just think for 1 second. Once we move, your father and I are going to be so busy helping Maya every day. You do realize Maya is working too, right? Since she's working, she's asked her father and me to deal with all of the housework. It's ridiculous to think that we would be able to take care of our old house when we'll be so busy already in Maya's. That only leaves you. Everything will turn out just fine if you just live in our old house and take care of it yourself.
What do you think I can handle all of this on my own? You're crazy. That's out of the question. How about we look at how you're only telling me this the day before you move out? You haven't discussed this with me at all. So I have no need to listen to you either.
How dare you? Are you forgetting who raised you? What makes you think you can act like this towards your mother? I just don't understand how you could have grown to be this ungrateful, insolent woman when Maya turned out perfectly. At the very least, if you had just gotten a job with $1,000 or something, then this would be a totally different story.
So now you're trying to insult me because of what kind of work I do. I'd appreciate it if you didn't badmouth every aspect of my life. I suppose I can't just cry about how it's so unfair that you only think about Maya. I'm far too old for something childish like that. I am already well aware that no matter what I say to you, you won't give me the time of day. You clearly gave up on me ages ago.
That's right. I guess I did raise you into someone who can at least understand some things. Then I'll be counting on you starting tomorrow. And you won't need anything to eat for dinner tonight. Your father and I are going to be eating out with Maya's family. So I won't be there to make anything for you.
Whatever. Enjoy your dinner out with the only family you actually care about. I don't exactly want to see your faces at all after today. So I'll be staying at a friend's place tonight.
Excuse me? What about helping us with our move? If you don't get everything packed up for us, it will cause trouble for everyone.
I figured you would say that. It's amazing just how unbelievably predictable you are. Why do you think I'm going to a friend's house in the first place? You're the ones who decided to plan all this behind my back in the first place? Why not take this as your first chance to get used to living life without relying on me? You'll be fine, I'm sure.
What? You had better stay right at home. I'm telling you that there will be serious trouble if you don't help us with preparing for the move. Alice. Living in a new house is just so nice. This is just the kind of life I would expect from having such a successful businessman as a son-in-law. I've never before experienced such an elegant, refined lifestyle.
Mom. Seriously? If you want to gush about how amazing your life is, you can just write it in a diary or perhaps talk to someone who actually cares. There's no need to keep messaging me about everything.
Living together with Maya's family must be the best thing.
Mom.
You disobedient little wretch. Since I first told you about our move, you haven't even shown your face to me. And you've just been out playing with your friends and acting all innocent. You're still keeping that promise you made to me, aren't you? There will be serious consequences if you aren't.
Promise?
Don't play dumb. I'm talking about you living at our old house and taking proper care of it. Have you been cleaning it daily? There will be serious trouble if you have been neglecting it.
I'm certainly living in the house right now. But apart from that, I don't see why you feel the need to be constantly telling me to do. It's nothing more than a nuisance.
I don't know why I'm even surprised that you continue to talk back like this to me anymore. When are you going to finally grow up and learn to accept some responsibility? It would be so much better if you could just learn even a little bit from Maya. She's a proper daughter who respects her parents and treats them properly.
What? You even care at this point? Instead of constantly worrying about a daughter like me who according to you can't amount to anything. Why aren't you just focusing on living happily ever after with your favorite daughter Maya? Isn't talking to me just putting a damper on your happy new life with the only daughter that matters to you?
I wouldn't put it like that. I'm not even close to worried about you. All your father and I are worried about is if our house is still in pristine condition. I'm only talking to you to make sure you're taking good care of it. This was originally something we were hoping to leave to some agency or another that could take care of it for us. But we figured it would be a waste of money when we have our parasitic daughter around. So we thought it would just be easiest to leave it to you. We've been doing you a favor by leaving you a place to live. So, it shouldn't be so strange for us to just ask you to take care of the place.
Sorry, Mom. I have no idea what you're talking about. You should just stop worrying about me and go enjoy your fun new life in your new house. I'm in the house, that's all that matters, right?
I suppose yes. I guess Maya and I just worry too much. No matter how anxious we get about what you could be neglecting. If we worry about it every day, it would just take years off of our lives.
Whatever, Mum. I don't see how continuing to make snide remarks at me is helping anything either. So I'm just going to go. Bye.
You are such a disgusting daughter. Whatever. Remember, you need to keep taking good care of the house. Alice. Where are you at? Text me right back.
What's wrong, Mom? It's 6 a.m. I'm even sleeping.
I tell you countless times that you had to take good care of the house.
Excuse me? I am taking good care of the house I'm living.
What? You're living in our house, aren't you? I'm getting complaints from everyone. The neighborhood has been complaining to us about a cat living at our house. That cat is pooping all over our garden. Our old neighbors have noticed the smelly scent and are complaining to us about it.
Huh? The cat? I have no idea, Mom. I don't own a cat. I don't know what they're complaining about. There's not a single cat in or around the house. And garden? There's no garden at my house. I'm living in an apartment, sorry.
What do you mean by that? An apartment? What are you talking about?
Don't you think it would be more helpful to go looking at your old house first? If there's all those complaints coming in from the neighbors, it might be better to go check the damage for yourself. It sounds to me like there might be some problems you're going to have to deal with.
What in the world happened here? The place looks utterly desolate. How could you let it fall into such disrepair? You said you were taking care of the house.
What? Didn't you hear me the first time? I am taking care of my house. Or rather, my apartment. Oh, right, there's one other thing I'm taking care of right now. You just happened to text me as I was finishing up some important work. I have been working to isolate every aspect of my life from all of you. So you can never interfere with my affairs again.
What are you talking about? This isn't something you just drop on someone out of nowhere.
What do you mean? Like how you and Dad did the same to me with your whole moving out. There shouldn't be any problem with me just telling you this now. It's not like I felt you needed to know anything about it. I'm just treating you the exact same way you treated me. You certainly didn't think it was important to let me know you were planning to move. And yet you still expected me to help you prepare everything. On top of that, you try to make me take care of the house you are leaving behind. What I'm doing should fall perfectly well within the bounds of what you seem to find as acceptable behavior.
What are you talking about? You're basically saying you're disowning us.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Alice. Moving out and disowning your family are two completely different things. Moreover, where are you right now? The house is absolutely caked with dust. You aren't cleaning the house daily like you promised.
Mom, I never made a single promise to you about cleaning a house. I told you I was cleaning my house. My apartment is also my house, Mom. They are the same.
How could you do something like this to us?
Don't act like any of you ever even cared that much about me. As long as I can remember, you all have only seen me as your servant.
We never thought that.
Oh, really? How about we take a quick look back at what's gone? You started off by suddenly telling me, your daughter, that you were moving out of your house one day, before you planned to move. You planned to move, you expected me to do most of the moving work for you. Then try to order me to take care of the house after you were gone. You weren't letting me live there as thanks for how much I helped you. You were making it sound like an obligation. You did everything you possibly could to try to force me to handle caring for the house you were essentially abandoning. Is that the kind of treatment you think a daughter deserves? Do you think they'd see the relationship as mother and daughter or master and servant?
What are you talking about? All of that was Maya's fault. I mean, just look at how differently the two of you were acting. Not only were you single, you were nothing but a parasite latching onto and living off of us instead of living out there on your own. Maya, on the other hand, married a rich husband and did what she can to let us live a happy life. It should be obvious, of course, we would pay more attention to Maya.
Is that because Maya married a rich man, it's her fault that you treated me like garbage? I'd say the fault pretty clearly lies with you. You didn't want to have to deal with managing a house or the difficulties that just come with living. So you made me do everything.
What makes you think you have the right to talk to me like that?
Honestly, Mom. Expecting someone else to keep a promise you made without even telling them? No one would do something like that. That house is not my house. I don't see why I even need to tell you this. But it's the obligation of the owner of the house to take care of it, isn't it? If you didn't want to shoulder the responsibility yourself, then maybe you should have thought a bit more about the person you wanted to leave it to. But I guess it's just too late to go taking back everything you did now. Good luck cleaning up the house.
Hold on, Alice. Come on. You could at least just help us with the house, couldn't you?
I would appreciate it if you didn't try to treat my family like your own personal workhorses. You all are nothing to me now. I don't consider any of you my family. Please do not contact me ever again. Bye. After that last conversation, I felt I owed them an explanation as to what my mess of a family had been doing. It took a while to explain to them all the horrible things my toxic family had done to me. But when I was finally done, my mother-in-law wept and embraced me. It made me happier than I could have ever imagined in a moment. Burying my face into her chest as she reassuringly patted my head from that point on. I never returned to that house full of memories of a horrible upbringing with terrible parents. I started living a happy new life together with my husband and his family. My only family.
Have you determined when you're going to leave us alone, you leech?
Please excuse me? Sorry, but what is the point of this? Why are you now talking to me in this manner, Natalie?
Oh my goodness. These aren't just random thoughts that occurred to me. I've always tried to be courteous and keep my feelings towards you to myself, but I just can't do it anymore. And because you don't seem to be able to pick up on any of the hints I've dropped or read the room, I decided to just say it. When are you going to stop bothering us?
If this is about moving out, I don't have any immediate intentions to do so.
So you're saying you'll continue to live with your parents? I mean, aren't you even slightly embarrassed of yourself? You are now 30 years old. And can you confirm that you don't have a fiancé? Or even a boyfriend?
Sorry, but I don't see how or why such things should bother you. They are all very personal concerns for me.
Whatever. It's not like I was asking because I wanted to know, or even because I care. The only thing that concerns me is when you intend to leave the house and stop burdening your family with your presence. I mean, haven't you realized that your entire family regards you as dead weight at this point?
My family thinks that I'm dead weight? And where did you hear that line?
Of course, no one has spoken it out, but that is only because we all understand it amongst ourselves. And, in any case, you are essentially suffocating everyone. After all, an old widow who just lingers around the house with no prospects. What else can you call such a person than a parasite?
So you call me a parasite? Tell me, where do you obtain that? Besides, why does it matter whether I live with my parents or not? Or have you forgotten that you and I share a home?
Of course, if I reside in the family home, everything is okay. After all, Basil is the heir, and I'm his wife, so it's only reasonable that I'd move in with him. But you're the older sister. You should take more charge of your life. You should have married and moved out years ago. Anyway, this house now belongs to Basil and me.
I understand your feelings, but the house still belongs to my parents.
Of course, I'm referring to the future. But if you continue to refuse to leave, they may end up handing you the house. After all, you are their eldest kid. But I like this house and want it to happen, but I don't want you in the picture.
What would you do if I decided to leave? After all, my parents are both in good health for their ages and are unlikely to die anytime soon. So, I don't think getting the house will be as easy as you think.
Oh, don't be concerned. This isn't about your parents. My only issue is with you. I'm sure your parents' assets have been dwindling over the years because you've been leeching off of them for so long.
What are the assets of my parents?
That is correct. And that means Basil's inheritance is dwindling as well. What if Basil and I decide to have children soon? So, what should we do? We'll all be destitute and living in hovels because of you, and it'll be your fault.
So you're saying that the main reason you're living with our parents is to steal their money? I don't believe you'll get what you want out of this, so I beg you to stop right now.
Naturally, they'd say something like that. To be honest, it's quite typical of someone like you. But only because you want to continue stealing from your parents and depleting their savings until they die.
I'm sorry, but whatever you think is going on in the house is completely wrong.
That's why I'm telling you what everyone is thinking. So you don't have to live this deception any longer. So you trust me, don't you? What does your family think of you? And now you want to leave, don't you?
The only thing I feel is annoyance at what you're doing right now. Anyway, I'll tell you right now that I have no plans to leave. I live at home with my parents to save money for the future. If you're short on cash, have you considered getting a part-time job? You appear to have a lot of free time.
Please excuse me? Do you honestly think I'll take this from some old like you? You are the only one who has spare time.
Actually, I'm very busy.
What kind of work could you be doing all alone inside?
Because I'm currently sick, I've been working remotely. But, in addition, much of the job may be done from home.
I have no idea what you're on about and don't care. I'm sure you're just hiding yourself in your room to play video games all day. I can tell how much electricity you consume by glancing at your monthly utility bills.
Do you truly believe that is what I do all day in my office? Just sitting on the toilet and playing video games? Anyway, Natalie, I'm afraid you're really wrong on a lot of things. Maybe you should talk to Basil about it and he can clarify things out for you. After all, it doesn't appear that you're very interested in what I'm trying to tell you.
No. You are mistaken. You're just a lonely old lady. Of course, I would never listen to anything you said.
I was scared you'd feel that way. Anyway, ask Basil and he'll explain everything. See ya. Do you have a minute, Basil? It's all about Natalie.
Daisy, what's up?
Well, I just think she has some strange notions about my career. She had texted me earlier, stating that I was a burden on the family.
Natalie stated this? If I'm being honest, she's been raiding my savings lately. I believe she's been acting suspiciously.
I see. But she seems to believe that I am squandering all of my parents' money. I'm not in a position to simply walk away from them. Basil, would you mind sitting down with Natalie and explaining everything to her? It would be quite meaningful to me. I really don't want things to grow much worse or more stressful around here.
I fully understand. I'll contact her tonight. I won't be home until late at night, but I'm going to have a serious conversation with her.
Thank you very much. I just think she'd pay more attention to you than she did to me. And I apologize for expecting you to do this after a long day at work. But it would mean so much to me.
Daisy! If you don't want this to happen again, you should probably simply leave.
Is that your message to me while I'm in the hospital? Natalie, do you even comprehend what you've done?
What do you mean? After all, you weren't paying attention to anything I was saying.
Was I not paying attention? So that's why you felt the need to force me down the stairs, resulting in my hospitalization? Did you realize that if I had fallen differently, I may have suffered severe injuries? I don't think anything I've done to you deserved that.
It's too bad you didn't fall differently, huh? Anyway, maybe now you'll listen to what I say. That was your final word of caution.
A forewarning? Is that what you meant? And what exactly are you attempting to forewarn me about?
Did you smack your head too hard? I'm warning you to leave the house and quit obstructing everyone else's progress. That was your final word. Now, go out!
Are you certain you're not the only one who has these thoughts?
Oh, I'm sure everyone else is on my side here. We all detest you even if you fell down the stairs. The entire family regards you as a massive parasite eating our lives away.
Is that true? Because my entire family has come to apologize to me.
What are they?
They apologize for enabling you to approach me. You realize how worried my entire family is right now?
What exactly are you talking about now? What are they so worried about? And for what do they need to apologize?
They all came to implore me not to leave the house, including my parents and Basil. And they all wanted to apologize to me for not noticing you were trying to force me out of here sooner. It goes without saying that I'll be staying with them for the foreseeable future.
No. What is the point of those jerks apologizing to you? Can't they see that what I did was for all of us?
Do you truly believe that what you did was for everyone's benefit? Are you certain you weren't thinking about yourself?
And why do you think that? All I did was try to get rid of the leech sucking on its own family.
You're the only one that speaks or thinks about me in that way. Everyone else is relieved to have me there, and because I can't work from home, I'm able to assist my parents significantly as they age.
What exactly are you on about now? You don't do anything for your parents, you're just a leech on them, right?
I've already stated that I'm not a recluse. I've been running my business while working from home.
Your business?
Have you ever paid attention to anything I've said? I thought Basil told you everything last night, but evidently not. Don't tell me you shoved me down the stairs before he could tell you everything.
Do you actually own your own business? You don't just sit in your room and play video games all day?
Contrary to what you might think, I make a good living from my business. And with it, I'm able to support my family and even pay for the house in which we've been living. How's that for a leech?
You are not providing for your family. After all, your father still works.
My father once lent money to someone he shouldn't have. It was a large loan, but my generous father agreed to make it. My family, however, lost their money as a result of this. Since then, I've worked to support and care for them.
Is that all true?
Perhaps it appeared to you that I was living with them in order to collect on their estate, but my parents don't even have that type of money to begin with. So all of your ideas are erroneous.
Wait. What's going on? So, what exactly is this? I don't believe you. You could never afford such a large home on your own.
It wasn't always this big, but I've done a lot of work on it since I moved here. My parents signed the deed over to me a long time ago so that I could easily keep up with the property taxes and such. Of course, I paid for all of the renovations. Apart from the property, I don't believe my parents have much of an estate to leave to anyone. But even if they did, I hope you realize by now that you're not going to get anything.
It's incredible that they live in such a large mansion and don't have a fragrance to their names. So, why have I been living with your parents for so long?
So you've had a rent-free home to live with utilities and food always paid for, haven't you? Perhaps you should simply be thankful for that? But to think you'd go out of your way to hurt someone who has given you so much.
But I had no intention of hurting you. It was only a heads up.
Again, a warning for what? You realize you've assaulted someone, don't you? And don't think I'll let you stay in my house for much longer.
Come on. There is no need to be so upset. It was all a giant misunderstanding. I had no idea you owned your own business. Can we start afresh as friends?
And who do you think you are to pose such a question? I will never be your friend. Get out of my house right now.
You are evicting me?
That's obvious. I cannot have such a hazardous individual in my home or around my family. Get out.
You can't just evict me. It's unjust. So, how about Basil?
Isn't that ironic? You tried to persuade me to leave by throwing me down the stairs, and now you're the one being tossed out. Just desserts.
Are you sure you're serious? You believe you can simply kick me out? What about your younger brother?
Basil is welcome to remain as long as he wants. After all, he appears to be researching how to begin the divorce process.
Divorce? Basil would never leave me. You have no idea what you're talking about.
You mean you still haven't heard from him? This was, of course, the final straw. But even before this, he recognized how you were wasting his money on yourself. Everyone now knows what a self-centered lady you are.
But I believed I was great at hiding my tracks. What tipped you off?
I believe it is best if you use this as a learning experience about not doing things you shouldn't. Oh, and I'll file a police report about what you did.
The cops have arrived. You don't have to include them.
Did you forget about pushing me down the stairs? That is a crime. Anyway, I have witnesses, so you'll have a record of this. And how will you manage as a single convicted felon once Basil divorces you?
I can't possibly have a criminal record. I'll do everything for you. Please accept my apologies.
Oh, and you were cocky previously. I don't even need to see you to understand how pale your poor face must be right now. You're getting a little out of hand, aren't you?
You're absolutely correct. I realize what you mean now, so please forgive me. It's something I'll never do again. Can't we just be family again?
We aren't related. And I don't want to see your face again.
Please do not mention that. After all, Basil and I are still married.
You'll have to discuss it with him. I'm simply informing you of the repercussions of your behavior. Anyway, I'll never see you again, so enjoy your life. Even if you have to start from scratch.
Daisy's family apologized to her, and they all still live in the house she owns. Basil, disgusted by his wife's actions, consented to kick her out of the house and began the divorce process. Daisy had heard Natalie had been arrested for her actions, but the two had never met again. Natalie had to begin her life, and she spends every day wondering about the life she could have had and regretting what she did. But it was too late for Natalie.